Welcome back to the desk. I'm Mason Mills, joined alongside Dylan, Wyatt, Chris, and Dante. We're here to tell you all you need to know about the start of the NBA season. Guys, let's start off with the local teams, both the Knicks and the Nets. They're off to slow starts, but they have very different expectations moving into the season. Dylan, what do you see?
Well, the biggest story surrounding the Knicks coming into the season was their acquisition of the new players here in New York. If you take a look, we got a number of different players brought in, a lot of big names. We got Joakim Noah, Brandon Jennings, Derrick Rose, Courtney Lee, and a little bit of a no-name guy here, Willy Hernan Gomez, but he's actually a big Spanish big man. He's been compared to Pau and Marc Gasol. He's going to fill in quite nice with the second unit, but, I mean, the expectations are sky high. This is a veteran Knicks team, and they have high hopes for the playoffs this year.
Chris Douglas, what do you see?
Absolutely. With Porzingis taking the next step thus far this season, I see a bright future for the Knicks, but they also need to get Derrick Rose on the same page with Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like any of the moves the Knicks made, to be honest. No,
really?
No, I really like Kristaps Porzingis as a player,
Right.
and I thought they should have built through him as a system and should have brought players around to him. But I thought the Knicks were thinking this is a win-now mode. The reasoning, bringing in Joakim Noah and Derrick Rose, two aging veterans with a lot of injury problems from Chicago, I thought it would have been better for the Knicks to really build around Kristaps Porzingis and make him the centerpiece because Melo's on the out. I mean, he's only got a couple of years left. You have to make him your centerpiece and make him the focal point of your offense going forward. And that's where I think Phil Jackson had it wrong with the Knicks.
Dante?
I think the East, besides Cleveland, is very wide open, and that benefits the Knicks and their talent a lot. And I am a big fan of Joakim Noah. I like the way he plays defense. I like his hustle, and I love that front court with him and Kristaps Porzingis.
Sure. A lot of different teams were actually making moves. We got a lot more players, seemingly. Maybe they'll fit well in their new home. Dylan, break it down for us.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mason, a lot of different moves have been made. Kevin Durant to the Warriors, Dwayne Wade to Chicago. I mean, the list goes on, really. Those are the two that have come to my mind at first.
Who do you think is, out of all the moves that were made, who's most fitting in their new home here?
I would say Kevin Durant.
Okay.
Just because he's a threat from anywhere on the court. He fits right in with a three ball. He can drive, he can create, he rebounds. I mean, he's a 7-foot guard.
Chris, what do you think?
I would agree and say Kevin Durant, but just to be different, I'm going to say Dwight Howard. He's been fantastic in his hometown in Atlanta thus far this season.
Right. What?
Yeah, I was going to say Dwayne Wade going back to his hometown in Chicago. I mean, he picks up that spot that Noah and Derrick Rose left when they went to New York. So he fits a score. That's a 20-point scorer right there. And, I mean, that's going to be really big. Dwayne Wade brings a lot of experience going into the playoffs.
Dante, what do you think?
Yeah, as a Heat fan, I have to respect Dwayne Wade and what he's done. He looks like he's having fun in Chicago. He's playing with his hometown crowd, and he's playing with a rotation that he could get behind, and that's something that plays very well into his strengths.
So let's bring it back to local basketball. Both of the Knicks and Nets had a battle on Wednesday night. Let's head over to the historic Madison Square Garden. Dylan, break it down for us.
So the Knicks and Nets met for the first time of 4 meetings this season at the Garden. Melo and his new teammates getting ready. Early on, it was all Nets. Brook Lopez blocking Kristaps Porzingis, trying to throw down the hammer, and Brook Lopez says, "Get out of here." So later on, Bojan Bogdanovic finding Justin Hamilton. He dunks it to extend the Nets' lead to 14. He finishes with 21 in the ballgame. Later on in the second quarter, Brook Lopez working on Joakim Noah. Backs him down, gets the runner to go. Brook Lopez would finish with 21 points. Still here in the second quarter. The first half winding down, Joakim Noah finds a cutting Kristaps Porzingis who throws down the hammer. Knicks cut the lead to 4 going into halftime. And in the second half, it was all Knicks. They held the Nets to just 41 points in the second half. Jeff Hornacek ripped into the Knicks in the locker room in the second half, and it was clear they got the message. You see Melo here hitting the step-back jumper in your face. Later on in the third quarter, or rather going to the fourth quarter, Kristaps Porzingis hits the deep three-pointer, and it was all New York Knicks from there. Later on in the fourth, Kristaps getting the block there, going baseline to baseline. The outlet pass to Brandon Jennings. He's going to find a cutting Kristaps Porzingis who's going to throw down the monstrous dunk and get the foul as well. The Knicks would cruise to a 110-96 win. Melo finishes with 21 points. Kristaps Porzingis finishes with 21 points. And the Knicks get the win over the Nets. We're going to take a second look here at the Kristaps Porzingis block. No, we're not. We're going to flip it to you, Mason.
All right, guys, let's break down what was possibly the biggest splash in the offseason was Kevin Durant signing with Golden State. We now have the possibility of seeing them in a playoff finals appearance for a third consecutive year. Do we, or is it going to be more difficult, Dylan?
I mean, I think they're the clear-cut favorite to come out of the West this year. The only team that can really stop them is the Spurs. The Clippers are going to be a good regular season again, but we know they don't fare too well in the playoffs. My money's on the Warriors to make another finals run.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like the Spurs this year, and I think with the offseason acquisition of Pau Gasol fitting the role of Tim Duncan, I mean, they were a great team last year, and now they have Pau Gasol fitting in for an aging Tim Duncan who retired. I think that Spurs team got even better, and they are really big with LaMarcus Aldridge. They're not going to be able to handle the Warriors.
Sure, Dante, what do you think?
The West is a two-horse race. It's San Antonio and it's Golden State.
Right.
And the way Golden State has played in the past, plus you add the skill set of Kevin Durant, nobody can beat them in the West.
Now, a lot of different players have been come flying out of the gate this season, and the MVP trophy is up for grabs. It's anyone's guess. So let's throw it to our correspondent, Stephen Lantigua, to bring us more.
All right, thanks, Mason. There are a handful of players who deserve the early honor of being named the league's MVP. Russell Westbrook has been unstoppable so far, putting up 31 points, almost 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. Anthony Davis opened up his season with a 50-point scoring night and has shown no signs of stopping. James Harden seems to be fitting in just fine in his new offense in Houston. He's another guy averaging a near triple-double. Then, of course, the usual LeBron James leading the way for the Cavs, who have shown also no signs of stopping since their championship last season. As you can see, the MVP race is very, very tight.
Thank you, Steve. Now, fellas, you heard it. It is early in the season, but we have seen a good amount of basketball to be able to make some predictions. Dylan?
I'm going to have to roll with Russell Westbrook, Steve. You said it best, man. I mean, 31 points, 9.5 assists,
Right.
and 8 rebounds. The guy is doing it all, and this is the Thunder team that everybody wrote off after Kevin Durant went to Golden State, saying, I don't know if they have enough firepower to really, hold their own in the West. And Russell Westbrook just said, all right, get on my back. We're going to do this thing.
Sure. Chris?
I'll say LeBron James with the way he started off this season, averaging 23, 10, and 9. He's just being LeBron. He's simply being MVP level and leading his team at the highest level possible.
Wyatt, what do you think?
We're going to go someone different here. Anthony Davis, the man, the myth, the unibrow. I mean, the guy is if the Pelicans make the playoffs and make a run, this guy's got to be in conversation MVP. Put a 50-point night on day 1, 45-point night on day 2. This guy is rebounding, blocking, assists. This guy is really good. I think he's got to be in the MVP race.
James Harden has to be it for me. Right now, we can only look at stats, and James Harden is averaging 37 and 13 assists a game. Nobody's playing better than him right now in the NBA.
Thank you, fellas. That is all the time we have left for this episode of WP Sports Desk. Join us next week for more in-depth analysis. Thank you, of course, as always, to our analysts, our crew, and our studio manager, Al Clarke. From Studio B in Hobart Hall, I'm Mason Mills. We'll see you next week.